Hello and welcome back, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and instead of jumping right back into a challenge, because we know how well that's been working out for me, I think this would be a good time to start knocking out some of the run requests I've been getting. Now, I haven't gotten a whole ton of them, but this one is one that I got probably about a week ago and figured, okay, why don't I actually just go ahead and take care of this now. And the only stipulation to the run, as far as I remember, is that they wanted me to use both Obsidian Splitter and Obsidian Cascade. So basically, forge weapons out of the very living stone, and use those to obliterate bitches. So as per usual, we're going to be starting at the elemental weak point for my run. Which, now I'm looking at it, kind of hurts because now I'm going up against Shu at the very end, who also has an elemental resistance to my two primary attacks. So, yay! It's a very earth-heavy run, and now I'm looking at it going, I need something that's going to help me against Shu real bad. But the things that are going to help me against Shu are things that Zeal is going to resist. So I figure, since I've got a lot of just straight up direct damage, okay, my controller it's doing what it was supposed to be doing. That was awful. Now, I've gone on record as saying I'm not a big fan of Obsidian Splitter. Obsidian Cascade, on the other hand, I generally rather like. And as far as starting Relic, I decided to take the Merchant's card because of its lovely build-up damage. There we go, come on. There. Also, I recall liking not getting curb stomped in a corner. Can we maybe work with that criteria? This is gonna be a difficult run for me. And not just because I seem to not really know how to properly handle the Arcana that I'm working with, but also because I'm a little out of practice. But Dark Sage, how can you be out of practice? Your computer's working fine. And yes, that is the case, but I have not played Wizard of Legend at all over the last few days. I've been playing Monster Hunter. And, you know, to my own credit, I've been doing much better. I'm now at the point of the game where I'm just experimenting with other weapons and builds to see what I really like. And for a while, I had been ignoring Longsword, which is one of my favorites from previous games. But no longer. I've actually been practicing with the longsword, and the new EI counter that the weapon has is starting to become I wouldn't say quite second nature, but I'm getting much more used to it. So that weapon is starting to become just a fun, flashy little bit for me. Okay, Gloves of Gambit would be a lovely way to increase the damage of a chunk of my spells. Whereas Memory Chainmail will give me perhaps some much-needed defense since I seem to be playing like garbage. But I'm also imagining that once I get back into my groove, I'll be fine. What do you have for me? Well, I'm not going to turn that down. That's just a straight damage increase. It's only 2. Oh, I could have afforded the thing. That was awful. Just a... There we go. Now, for those of you who aren't quite aware of why it is I dislike Obsidian Splitter, allow me to quickly explain. In my hands, Obsidian Splitter is just a little too slow. Now, those who are well practiced with it can probably get a lot out of it, but my problem with it is that it's just not fast enough to get the job done that I want it to get done. Like, I tend to use my basic for area control, and this is nuts. This one can do area control, but it does it a little bit slower than I want. Now, on the plus side for it, though, it is strong for a basic Arcana, especially after you upgrade it and it gets that secondary hit where it just bursts into rock at the end. But it's also got just a nice wide area of effect too. Look at that. That's the thing. I might not like Obsidian Splitter very much, but I can definitely get down with the advantages that it brings you. Both Ancient Fountain Pen and Cartographer's Quill are very much in the running for this build. But it's also a move that you have a hard time canceling out of. Like a lot of these times where I'm just standing there taking damage are because you actually, like, just to give you an idea, I'm gonna swing the axe and then I'm gonna mash the B button. So as you can see, if you're not in control before you start a swing, you're probably taking damage. Like, it's just much harder to react to things out of the Obsidian Splitter. Oh, that was smooth. So whereas I happily admit that this thing is damaging, sometimes you need a move to be more than just damaging for it to really stand out for you. And for those of you who do make good use of the Obsidian Splitter, by all means, that's amazing. I'm glad you found something that works for you. I'm just saying, in my hands, it's a little iffy. Oops. But another thing I'm noticing is that it's got quite a bit of knockback, so it's good for keeping enemies off of you. And it's also good for knocking enemies into pits. I like the idea of Ignition Drive. Just, do I like that better than Cartographer's Quill, though? I'm only going to be able to afford one. And zap. I think because of how my run is... Oh, hold on. You know, it's early enough that actually I think taking Cartographer's Quill is the better choice. Which means at the end of the run I'll only be missing out on 4% damage, and I can do that. Yeah, the delay in the middle of... Like, I really just find Obsidian Splitter just awkward. Obsidian Cascade, on the other hand, I'll sit here and use all day. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that Obsidian Splitter is fine against mobs, not so good against bosses. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. And so long as we're talking about gaming-related news, can we all just agree that it's time to shed a tear for Toys for Bob, since they're now relegated to just working on Call of Duty Warzone? By the way, in case you're wondering what Toys for Bob is, they are a development studio, and more specifically the ones responsible for the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy and the Spyro Reignited games, getting where they are. I'll probably want to get Frostfan, just... Yeah. And I think they're also responsible for a couple of Switch ports of a few different games. I don't exactly have the list in front of me, so I can't tell you what all they worked on, but they've worked on some pretty interesting stuff, but yeah, I can't exactly say that I'm super happy about the idea that they're now being relegated by Activision to just work on Call of Duty Warzone. And I'm also starting to think, is this now the third studio that's under their belt that's just strictly working on Call of Duty? I am going to take the Alchemist Stone because I'm starting to get the feeling that this is going to be a very money-heavy run. I could use all the spare change I can get. Kinda wish I had found that earlier, honestly. And at any rate, it just kind of makes me feel a little bit sad that a studio that was actually starting to acquire some pedigree is now just sitting there working on Call of Duty's free-to-play spin-off. And I don't know, maybe some of you are okay with that. It's like, hey, that's just the way business works, yo. I personally look at it as a, oh, they could be doing so much more with their talents. So yeah, it makes me a little upset that that's just what they've become now. But oh, if I can get enough money to get the Curse Eater's Watch, because I do have 2 cursed relics, that would actually be worth a damn. I get the feeling I'm not going to get enough money for that because I do want to pick up Frost Fan, and that's kind of non-negotiable at this point. That's going to help me control things, not only on this level, but also for the rest of the run. Not only that, but I can really use a 3rd attack option because this basic, like I said, is not really good for racking damage on bosses. So let's just go ahead and grab you. I only just now noticed Exploding Fireball, but that's okay. I'm going to stick with Frost Fan, and then maybe on the next level I'll find a decent fire spell that I can use against Shu. He's going to be taking, unfortunately, reduced damage from the things that this run was built around. Yeah, that's what you get. And since the question will inevitably come up, let's just answer it now. Was it difficult giving up the adorable mimic for the Alchemist Stone? Yes. Yes, it was. Not that I wanted to just destroy anything that I had at the moment, but I'm normally I'm of the mind of, if I see adorable mimic, I take adorable mimic. And I had to really fight my instincts hard on that one. Ow. I so badly wanted to take that mimic. But right now I'm trying to play the role of someone who's good at this game, so... Will you get in the pit? Thank you. God, it's like he didn't even want to give up his life for my cause. Ugh, lame. And Conqueror's Belt is going to be not only useful at stopping some of you jerks from casting your friggin' roguey spells, but also it's going to power up Merchant's cards. That in and of itself is already a good thing. Alright, let's grab that. That's going to make it so that the icicles from Frost Fan will splinter out, and, well, not splinter out, but so that they can't be... Oh man, look at that whiff. Look at that salty whiff. God damn. There we go. No, I don't really want to change my dash. My dash is already good. Matter of fact, I would say it's probably the best dash in the game. I will say the tertiary hit from Obsidian Splitter is a bit more useful than I had originally given it credit for, maybe. Oh, look at Mr. Darksage whipping out his vocabulary. Really? You suck. Alright, autograph pad. Honestly, I would rather not, because I like having my signature. But I would be lying if I said it didn't look really tempting right now, considering that I'm just getting beat up. Is there anything here that's really worthwhile? I mean, aside from a health potion? I mean, running faster is usually helpful. That's about the only thing, though. Now, what I would normally take here of these options is Blurring Falconry, but then I have to take into consideration the idea that Shu will resist that. Not that that's a huge deal. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place a little bit. I think just to maintain safety, I should do that. Okay, there we go. Might as well. Plus, once again, it powers up Merchant's Cart a little further, and I could always use that. Alright. Damage increase is definitely noticeable. There we go. Alright. Yeah, I can't be mad about Binary Splashdown. So, if I don't find a decent Fire Arcana for Shu, I at least know that I've got Binary Splashdown to give me some evasive tactics. That is well worth the asking price. What, the asking price of nothing? Yes, it's definitely worth the asking price of nothing. Are you kidding me? Get that for free? You have to pay nothing. So another bonus to Obsidian Cascade that I'm noticing is that it does hit pretty much all around you, so it's hard for enemies to sneak up on you. But once again, I'm brought back to the idea that it's just so slow. Game? Okay, what is explaining why I'm not getting my spell off? Okay, well that room absolutely wrecked me. So for those of you who want to use Obsidian Splitter a little bit more seriously, here's another thing about this spell that I noticed. If you just don't enter a directional input, you more or less sit still when you use this spell, which is what I should have been doing against those rogues. But if you're inputting a direction when you're doing that, especially during the just basic swings, you actually lurch forward quite a bit, which is putting me within their range for their stupid, like, one-frame critical hit. So, now, for those of you who do really like Obsidian Splitter and are wondering why I'm complaining so much, look at it this way. First of all, is there anything here I want? I might want to take Mercenary's Dagger, but I'm not sure. Otherwise, Golden Armor of Envy will at least give me a little bit of extra protection. So yes, Obsidian Splitter does do good damage. At least for a basic, it does good damage. Ooh, Flame Fusion. Now we're talking. I will be back to Flame Fusion once I have the money. So let's look at it this way. I like to do more speedy, kind of control-focused combo attacks. So that would also explain why some of my favorite spells are the ones that do multiple hits but don't hit for very much damage. That's not purely the case. But it is kind of a general rule of thumb for me that the quicker, more controlling spells basically keep enemies in hit stun longer and gives me more time to plan out my moves. Now, Obsidian Splitter is clearly not that. Matter of fact, I would say Obsidian Splitter is very much the opposite of that. Whereas it does hit pretty nicely in a circle around you, and yes, I am going to take Flame Fusion. It has the noticeable problem of being very slow. Now, the argument could be made that, well, it's not that slow, you just have to... You just need to use it a little bit ahead of time, that's all. Well, that's easier said than done in a fast-paced action roguelike, where your situation can often change at a moment's notice. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this, and yes, that does make it look like I'm just going to be just rolling in money, and that's kind of exactly the point. But I'm going to take Mercenary's Dagger, so if I earn way more money than I use, then we don't have to worry about ever running out of spare change. Not worried about that one little sliver of the map. God, that took so much damage. So what it boils down to is, if you basic that I'm using isn't fast, then it had better have good range. And Obsidian Splitter doesn't have that either. Well, what about the axe throw? Oh, it does have that, yes, but it's not what I would call one of the spell's most defining features. Hello, sir. I would like to upgrade Flame Fusion, actually, so I don't think I'm going to take that. There we go. Love Thousand Blades. Now, Obsidian Cascade, on the other hand, is exactly what I want out of a good spell. It's quick, it's powerful, it scores many hits. Like, I just have very few bad things to say about Obsidian Cascade. And I'm sure some of you are a little disappointed that I'm basically taking a crap on Obsidian Splitter, but I'm sorry, I can't help how I feel. For you, having something that's giving up a little bit of speed for raw damage is probably worth it. For me, it just isn't. But that doesn't mean that I won't occasionally whip out the old axe for you guys. There we go. Alright, we're really hitting for some big numbers right now. It didn't even stand a chance. Oh, I guess I've seen the entire map. Alright, let's have a look. See what's on offer. None of those are really light my world on fire, so leave them. And as I've said before, Flame Fusion has this wonderful thing you can do with it, where if you use it up close and shotgun, those fiery arrows do so much damage. Like, I've actually got two spells that do a great job when used up close. There we go. That's plenty of money to fuel my mercenary's dagger with. So this should be pretty much a one run, but I don't want to get too cocky just yet, because as we've seen, sometimes when you get really cocky, then you end up paying for it. It's just what happens when you let hubris take over. done an Arcana Spotlight on Flame Fusion yet. Because if not, I need to do that. There we go. Plenty of cash. And there we go. It's not a full 12 relics, but at the same time, I feel it's definitely enough to get the job done. Oh, yes. You had to have known that I was going to try to turn this into a power run, right? Owie. Oh, you suck so much. Sorry, you're probably not liking my water cushion very much either, but then again, I have to take care of other things, so... There we go. Feels good to win a run. And it feels like every time I try the Cabby Sweets challenge, which, yeah, so far that's only twice, but still. I apologize. As of right now, it's about 34 minutes after midnight at the time of this recording, so I think I'm allowed to be a little sleepy. But there you go, Obsidian. It's a run cast in stone. Thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate your support and you guys actually coming in to give off some pretty decent build ideas. By all means, keep submitting build ideas to me. I'm very interested in what you guys come up with and to see whether or not I really like what's on offer. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of Obsidian Splitter, but I'd say being able to whip out the 1,000 blades more than makes up for it. You know, do the usual like, comment, subscribe, the YouTube thing. Links to my social media will be in the description below, and as per usual, I will catch you guys in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you.